God promises that as you become more God-conscious, your eyes and hearing will be opened in a new way. Everything around you has a new perspective. That perception is the lens through which you will look today. As a result of this, others will believe you are becoming more prophetic than ever. You're not actually growing more prophetic. You're simply becoming more like me, your Papa. You will immediately know which is of the soul and which is of the spirit. You will have more spiritual perceptions, even in topics unrelated to your life. You will enter into a public venue with a room full of strangers, and I will allow you to see and know the deepest secrets of their souls for my purposes. I am removing the hidden things and revealing them to you. According to the Father, I am imparting to you today what can only be characterized as X-ray vision. Those things that are buried, unknown, and even hidden from me will be revealed not via suspicion, but through my revelatory gifts. You will use spiritual gifts intuitively, rather than strained artificially, which simply mimics the anointing. What will you do with this anointed intuition that I have applied to your eyes like I salve today? Prophecy, wisdom, and the word of knowledge will be demonstrated in your life not for the purpose of exposing and shaming others, but for loving and healing them as I have healed you. So, go about your day today and demand your eyes to see and your ears to listen. Pour your love like a salve into other people's wounds, even those that they caused themselves via bad decisions. Through you and what I now anoint you to know and see, I am pouring out the most intense, unconditional love you have ever experienced. Today, the Father advises, set your sights higher. Increase your expectations. Know that the limits of my favor in your life have not been reached or even imagined. My people are too easily satisfied, says the Father. I pour forth a drop of blessing, and they believe I sent the latter rain. Not so. Cry out to me. Cry out, as I declared in my word, until. Cry to me till the nations shake. Cry out to me till the mountains and hills melt and come down. Cry out to me because I am willing to hear and reply. Your heart's cry and expectations serve as a prelude to what I am about to perform on earth, as well as in your life on an individual level. I never asked you to settle for second best. The speech of less than is not my voice, the Father declares. Go first class all the way. Expect a total and complete triumph. Say to your heart every day, you get to have it all. Didn't I tell that if you seek the kingdom, all things will be added? Reject the voice of doubt that claims, I am God who delights in poverty. All means all. I've given you everything you need to know about holiness and life. I intend to offer you everything in order to keep you focused on obtaining the kingdom. Because you're a kingdom seeking, I will remove all lack, want, turmoil, controversy, and challenges because I want your full and undivided attention. So focus on the tasks ahead and know that I am coordinating and working in all aspects of your life. I am with you, declares the Father. I'm working in and through you. It is a new day, a day of fulfilling one's deepest desires and dreams. Are you ready? Let's get started now. God has stated today that I am raising up a relevant prophetic generation. You are a part of this, and you have a role in my kingdom as a prophet. You are drawn to the prophetic because you are a prophet. My gospel is one that must come from what you have seen and heard. You have witnessed the prophetic. You have heard the prophecy. The prophetic has influenced and altered your life. Your gifts and my anointing in your life flow from the outpouring of my voice within and through you. Your aim is to set others free and to live in freedom yourself. This is a question that should be answered in your life, says the Father. From my mercy, I am releasing a word through you that will redefine what it means to hear my voice and share what I hear for your and others' benefit. Today, God says I'm doing speedy work. I am hastening my work in justice in order to achieve a sense of entitlement and visible authority. I am not a God who provides an anemic response to your need. Religious clichés do not sufficiently address your concern, nor do they represent my thoughts. I do not hesitate to take on difficult instances, and I do not dismiss impossible situations as if they do not exist. I have never apologized, says the Father, because I have never failed to come through for those who have placed their trust in me. I'm doing speedy work, says the Father. Listen to my voice and the symphony of my strength as they echo in response to your request. I am with you, declares the Father. I will never leave or abandon you. I am causing confusion among the enemy's ranks. He will seek you out, but not find you. He will arrange ambushes for you, and you will be caught in his trap. You will move at God's speed because I am entrusting you as a vehicle for my magnificence and purposes, declares the Father. Rejoice! This is the day of your salvation, for I am coming to deliver, rejuvenate, and refresh you. God says you are wrapped up in my arms today. This day, I am surrounding you with my goodness, including my loving kindness. My loving kindness is upon you, says the Father, and my unfathomable mercies are leading you to rise above and be hoisted above the surging sea of causality and happenstance. Even as the angels ministered to Jesus, he was tired and battle-weary from the temptation in the wilderness, so the angels are standing around you right now, ministering to you and anchoring you in my goodness, grace, and, yes, kindness. The Father says that you are surrounded by David's sure mercies. You are being carried. There are days when I tell you to take off your shoes and walk carefully, but today I am carrying you. Refuse to listen to the voices of worry, pessimism, and dispute. My voice is uncontested because when I surround and defend you, there are no valid adversaries to steal you away from me. Come to your place of relaxation. I am bringing you to rest on the threshing floor as I thresh the nations while keeping you alive, blessed, and rejuvenated in my arms and favor. The Father declares today that I am singing my song over you. I'm singing my song, and it's echoing through every vein of brokenness and wounding in your existence. I am singing my song, and as it penetrates deep into your human spirit, I am healing, sculpting, and refashioning you. I am reshaping you into the image you saw in the mirror of myself when I created you from my self-substance. I have longed for your company, says the Father. I don't just call you son and daughter, I call you bride. The bride and the bridegroom are merging, and the eventual result will be a peace and joy beyond any you have ever experienced. There is consequently no crisis, since allowing a crisis would distract from my goal. I will not be distracted, says the Father, and neither will you. The enemy's prattling and threats are nothing compared to the scale of majesty that I am bringing to bear on you, in you, and around you. Be at rest, beloved, and find peace in my majesty. There is no hardship, trouble, or challenge that can derail what I am doing or going to do. You won't be left out. I wouldn't leave you out any more than I would leave my bride at the altar. You are my bride. I call you espoused. I name you my espoused, and I will defend you. I will defend and surround you, causing you to know at this time the fullness of delight that I have in store for those who adore my appearing in them. So prepare to witness this day, says the Father. Listen with your ears. It makes sense to feel. I will grant you the seer anointing and allow you to hear the subtle nuances of what I say and do. Remember that being prophetic does not entail seeing through the accuser's eyes, but rather through the lens of the cross and my unconditional love. Your dreams will shift from personal guidance to nocturnal visions of the principalities and powers functioning around you. Even during the night seasons, your priorities will vary in response to the deeper reality that is shown to you. Say, hear to your ears and be opened to your eyes. Take what you've been given and breathe new life into it, encouraging others. This is your assignment and ministry part, according to the Father. Today, the Father advises, do not listen to the accuser. Your affirmation comes from me, not from what others believe or do. My favor is on you, declares the Father. My favor is a shield that protects and defends you in all aspects of your life. Your blessing and advancement are not determined by your IQ or ability to perform flawlessly. I am the God who makes you flourish despite blunders, errors, and miscalculations. If others dismiss you or do not take you seriously, they are not discounting you. Rather, they are discounting themselves from the things I intend to do in your life. Take the allegations leveled against you and use them to propel yourself forward in life. Refuse to get sidetracked by your criticism. Respond to what I say rather than what they say. See yourself the way I see you. Believe what I say about you over what others or circumstances say about you. You cannot believe and respond to both what I say about you and what others say about you. You can't honor God and fear man. Turn to me, and you will receive an avalanche of blessings. Be brave and resolute enough to take a risk and move forward, knowing that I am with you and will never leave or forsake you. I will promote you, and my plan for you will be realized and fulfilled, just as you have requested. The Father declares today that things are being poured out on you to establish and strengthen you in my unique objectives for your life. I'm shifting your perspective and showing you the spiritual geography of the future months. It is a critical time for me, and by extension, for you. It's a new season for me, which means a new season for you. The Song of the Redeemed is about to be released in a new format. This is a song with a message. I am preparing the table, including an apostolic table of authority on the earth. The baton must be passed, and you must advance higher. You must accompany those to whom I have summoned you. I will cause what is upon them to fall upon you, and you will walk with a new flow and anointing. I am bringing forth a mingling of streams. There will be joy once more in the house of the Lord, including my body, where all men are welcomed, loved, and eternally altered. Teaching and equipping will take happening. Training will be required, and training will be provided. Set aside time and make the necessary sacrifices to do it. Do not let yourself get distracted. There is a new stirring, a new awakening. A new call has been sent, and they have arrived, some individually, some in large groups, all choosing to migrate to ground zero of my splendor. Now is the time for the planting to become reaping, and the reaping to become ruling and reigning, even in the mountain of media and the modern marketplace that the enemy has attempted to keep my people out of. They will be taught and equipped, and they will discover what it means to be a true family. You will never be pushed away. You will be eternally altered. Today, God says, I choose you. Because I have time, you have time. Do not look at the days, weeks, months, or years. Look at eternity. I'm going back in time, even to the days of your past, to lessen the gap between your battle and your breakthrough. You may respond, that isn't how I remember it. For in truth, I am God of eternity and can do whatever I want at any time without consulting anyone. Stop listening to the bogus authority of dead religions. Come out to me. Suffer with me outside of camp. Come out, all the way out, because I am about to avenge everything that lives outside of my grace, mercy, and blessing. I will not wait any longer. I won't hesitate any longer. Come under the shadow of my wings and rest until the scourge on the enemy's ranks has passed. The Father declares that you will be among those who remain standing. You will be among those who proclaim, the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our God and His Christ. I have chosen you. I chose you because I choose the foolish things of the earth to confound the great. There is no longer any need to curry favor with individuals who consider themselves intelligent, strong, and capable. Their intellect and strength disqualify them. Your fragility and humility encompass you. I won't leave you out. Align yourself with me. Refuse to listen to your criticism. They have never understood it and will never do. Enter my purposes and know that your share is waiting for you. Your provision, miracle, and promise are rising and manifesting right now. This is your time. Today, the Father says there are no bargain moves of the Spirit. They'll cost you everything. Come to me, holding nothing back. Pour everything out upon the table, holding nothing back. I will ensure that the full dividends of the cross are paid into your life through resurrection power. Those who hold back and hesitate will have no part in what I am accomplishing, for today is a new day of no more waiting, wondering, or wandering. You will know, and I will be known in your presence. The mocker and scoffer are excluded. I stated that the mocker and the scoffer are excluded. Leave them to me. Press into my magnificence. This day you can love without bounds. You have requested that the restrictions placed on what I am doing in your life be relaxed. I say to you, remove the boundaries around my love. No longer limit the discharge of your love to individuals that you deem attractive and acceptable. My grandeur will no longer be filtered through the lenses of restricted thinking and judgmental attitudes. This is my now season. Can you provide an answer right now? Now is the time for you to let who I am shine through you. When you allow who I am to overshadow who you are, there is nothing left to do but revel in my magnificence. Come in. Come out of the leeks and garlics of past religious experiences. Avoid the catharsis of hollow emotionalism. Come into the sincerity of my splendor. It is available to those who have relinquished, surrendered, or abandoned my heart and objectives. The Father says today that catching up with my spirit is both a now and a future event. Be caught up in my mind and spirit, and all that perplexes and confounds you will become obvious. I will forcefully convey my word to your heart and thoughts. There will be confirmation in the heavens. There will be confirmations on earth. My prophet's words will serve as confirmation. My spirit's great outpouring has been unleashed to and in you today. Things are going to shift and alter. It has already begun. It differs from what you have previously done, thought about, and planned for. There are several people making their way into your life. Make space for them. Let go of unproductive connections so you may move on. There are documents about to be delivered to you from the courts of heaven. They're signed. My seal is on them. It is finished, even though it did not begin from your perspective. The decree from above has been issued. Your Lord and Master have spoken. The dunamis energy of my spirit will now urge you ahead. You will experience it both physically and internally. You will notice the impact of what I am doing in your life. Do not be distracted. Avoid looking to the right or left. I'm using you where you are. Others are approaching you. I am marrying God's work in North America and Western Europe. The mouths of my prophets and apostles are being unsealed. They will be challenged to accept what they hear from their own mouths. It is a new day, says the Father, and I say to you, hasten into it. The Father says, today I am bringing you to a new level of surrender. I am calling for a new degree of surrender from my fivefold ministers and my body. This is a work of deep calling for deep in the season. You'll talk and everything will change. Continents will shift and move in response to the voice of my surrendered ones. Say what I say, do what I do. Always walk in love. Allow love to do its purifying work in you, since without purity, strength is negated. There is no power beyond my love. Aside from love, there is emptiness, frustration, and dread. My darling, you will say and do something, and it will be as if I spoke and did it. In love, all of heaven will underwrite your works. I am prepared to walk with you in accordance with my plan and purpose. There will be changes and shifts in people's hearts. People will walk in oneness, whether they agree or disagree. Focus on the relationship and hearing me, and you will arrive on time and in season. You are ordained. I have ordained that you be in season. The promise is not to everyone, but it is to those who would come to a new state of submission in me, says the Father. There will be others who are excluded because all they know is gnashing of teeth, railing, and accusations. They have been excluded. Do not mess with them, says the Father, because the spirit of accusation will descend upon you, and you will be unable to enjoy the fullness of what I have reserved for you. Run to me. Run for my purposes. Renew your surrender. This is the time. The world has waited for this hour. God says you are now seated in the heavenlies with me. When you pray, "Hear, O heavens, and hear, O earth," you are also addressing what I have placed within you, your inner man. My heavens within you support and preserve your earth, heart, and life. You are my creation. You are the work of God. My work makes no judgments or criticisms. You will no longer be ruled by outer judgments. You shall be led by my spirit like never before. My spirit is leading you into the incomparable fullness of who and what I am inside you. Fear not, says the Father. It is I. Open your mouth by the Spirit and speak to your soul. Do you believe this? Behold, the covenant with death has been undone, and the Spirit of life has arrived. Receive that life as a boiling spring of who I am within you. As the new heavens emerge, the environment of heaven flows and manifests itself within you. This is the resurrection now, which will be fully realized then. This is the beauty of holiness, according to the Father. Tell your mind to embrace the recovery of that mind that was in the beginning with God, so that you would know and remember that before you were born, you were blameless before me in love. So, beloved, be loved. Be accepted. Accept my approval and pursue my perfection in your life, because that is my purpose, plan, and destiny. The Father says today, put your trust in me, not in your own natural abilities. My Spirit's work cannot be carried out by the power of the flesh. If you try to use your natural talents, skills, and abilities to influence the situation, you will get in over your head. Go low to worship. Allow the law of kindness to reside in your mouth. Let the wisdom within you be peaceful and easily entreated. Do not level accusations against those who have disparaged and maligned you. Be still and know. Do not be self-assured. Your confidence will falter and be crushed, but my love will never fail. Stand in my love. Set your expectations on me rather than on men. Put your hand to the plow of my purposes and never look back. The only life past hurts and misdeeds have is the one you give them. Refuse to dwell in the past. Refuse to perceive others through the lens of past mistakes. People change. You've changed. You are not the same person you were, and neither are your adversaries. Some have gotten worse, while others have repented. Don't demand your pound of flesh by claiming, I'll believe it when I see it. Leave it to me. Continue walking in love. This is where it becomes personal. Will you follow me through this territory? Will you react and become lost in the wilderness of offense and wounding? Take my hand. Allow me to guide you through this season and lead you to a position of promotion, free from the baggage of the past. God advises that this is a moment to praise, not to panic. Examine how you respond to life's obstacles today. Know that whatever is happening in your life did not surprise me. Beloved, I am not pacing before the throne, wringing my hands, wondering how I will get you out of this mess. If I support you, who could be against you? What causes others to shiver in fear should drive you to merely shrug your shoulders and say glibly, if God is for me, who can be against me? I am for you, declares the Father. Some people with religious beliefs are so stupid that they believe I am doing it to you. Makes you question what Bible they've been reading, doesn't it? I am for you, says the Father. Know that I support you. I am with you, declares the Father. Know that I'm with you. You will emerge from this and all other challenges in life as the Israelites did, laden with the treasures of the enemy. I don't do things in small ways. I am a huge God, and I do huge miracles in conspicuous ways that make it abundantly evident that you are the object of my favor and the beneficiary of my devotion. So sit down, take a breath, and remember how much I love you. Yes, there will be days when you feel overwhelmed. When you feel that coming on, simply kneel down and kiss the hand of the one who loves you. Even though it may not appear so, I am working behind the scenes. When you feel like you're falling short, remember that the opponent is far more unhappy, fatigued, and disappointed than you are. He just doesn't understand why I don't turn him loose on you. But the enemy, like others with religious beliefs, doesn't realize that I love you, favor you, and guess what, beloved? You won. The Father replies, come today and bask in my favor. Ask me, says the Father, and my heart will say yes to you. You're not a widow, says the Father. You're a bride. So ask me today like a lady in love. I will not withhold any of my goodness from you. Come, beloved, and I will teach you to pray in ways that will astound you. I grant my permission to you. I've prepared a sanctuary of lavish love for you today, and I encourage you to enter. Explore new terrain in the realm of faith. Move beyond unbelief, and I will reveal my yes and amen in your situation. You will understand that I view you as the object of my affection, even if I am the center of your worship. I now instill in your inner man the desire to investigate, extend, and fully understand my goodness and favor. I am removing everything that is half-hearted or careless about my promises. Explore the bounds of my favor today, and recognize them as the default state I have designed for you to exist in. Rise up from the inside, says the Father. I am the Father, and you can go farther. Look to me within and recognize me as your provision and resource. In that understanding, the external manifestation will be effortless. This is the nothing shall be impossible place of existence that has been waiting for you all your life, according to your God. The Father says today that I am granting you extreme permission. Today, embrace my permissiveness. I give you permission to rise up and demonstrate who I am on earth. I allow you to cast out devils and heal the sick. I grant you permission to announce the acceptable year of my blessing and mercy over your life and the lives of your loved ones. Do you realize, says the Father, that your most imaginative idea of my favor does not even begin to capture the magnitude of my love and resolve to show up in your life for goodness and blessing? Enter into my permissiveness, says the Father. Allow no one else to be the gatekeepers of my blessings in your life. When correction is required, I will make it clearly obvious that it comes from me, not from man or some religious concept of what man believes your life should look like. Today, you can reclaim your station and place in the kingdom. Give yourself over to my spirit and my character every time. Make it your goal to press in every day to the knowledge and experience of being my beloved, for I have lavished my love upon you, even my unrelenting love, in ways you could never conceive. God declares today that my kingdom is your natural environment. You are a citizen of the kingdom. My kingdom is the atmosphere I have created for you not only after you die, but also in your everyday life. Discover now what it means to be seated in heavenly regions with Christ. Welcome to heaven on earth. Heaven is your home now, not just when you die. You are currently sitting in heavenly places, and the authority in the heavens is your entitlement on earth until your release from earthly life. There is no suffering in heaven, according to the Father. Go out today and speak to and touch the injured and rejected. Flow in my heart and compassion. Your words, and even your touch, have creative power. Go forth and touch the lost and wounded, says the Father, since even your touch may create, heal, and deliver. In your life, you serve as an ambassador of paradise on earth. This is your blessing, your supply, and, lover, your commission. Today, the Father says that the angel of change will arrive to initiate the change. You have screamed out for change. My hand has brought about the change you have prayed for. As the Israelites did when they escaped Egypt, eat your meat while wearing sandals and holding your staff. You're leaving certain things behind and venturing into new terrain. Get ready. Prepare. Obey. Respond to the tug of my spirit as I guide you not by the severity of the law, but by the width of my grace, love, and mercy. Transformation and transformation begin within and extend from there. Be an example. Be an example of flexibility and adaptability. Do not offend my spirit by adhering to outdated ways of thinking and judgment. Leave out any judgment and censure. Stop enabling people to pass on their prejudices as if they were arbiters of my truth. Reject men's beliefs, bogus authority, and wisdom. Allow the breath of heaven to cleanse, renew, and strengthen you for the new day ahead. The Father says today that I am assigning you the entitlement of a son. I name you my darling because you are the recipient of my favor and blessing. Press into the heart of a servant, and I will give you the favor of a son. Consider the rights of sonship to be something to be grasped or fought for. The price was paid. You are born to be a son. You do not aspire to it. I have given you the power to become, so let the becoming begin. Take on the willingness to serve. Be willing to bend, send, and spend. Be as malleable as clay in my hands, and I will shape and craft you into a vessel of honor. You are not a vessel of lesser honor, says the Father. I'm inducting you into a plan and purpose. Yield to my hand as I place you in the kiln of my character. Allow me to purify you in the furnace of my perfection, removing all dross and tin until you are pure silver and gold. I will present you to lords and potentates, says the Father. You are not a cast-off or discarded vessel. Others may have rejected you, but you're accepted in me today. Flow into that acceptance and, with all your heart, seek my favor. When acceptance and approval kiss and come together in you, that is what breakthrough looks and feels like, according to your God. Today, the Father declares that your faith is the title to your heart's desires. You can ask for everything you want, and it will be done. I know you believe. Now let me help you with your disbelief. I will never disqualify you from what Calvary so generously paid for. I will never disqualify you, but make sure you don't disqualify yourself. You have been transported from the domain of darkness to the kingdom of the Son of my love. Allow your mind to stop thinking about darkness, denial, and delay. I'm with you. Be not conformed, but but receive the transformation in your heart so that you no longer think like a lowly beggar, but rather as an entitled son prepared to serve and discover your position in my purposes. I am with you, declares the Father. I'll never leave you. I will never leave you. My mercy will find you, even if you stumble and bring dishonor to your testimony. Forgive yourself. Move on. In every failure, constantly return to a default position of trust in my unfailing love and grace. I am not only working to change the circumstances, but also to transform you into the image that you were designed to represent. Rejoice, says the Father. You can't mess this up. Continue to trust. Continue to move near me with humility and a willingness to cooperate. I am who I am, and I am here in your life to see you through every adversity. The Father replies, today, I am bringing you from insignificance to promotion. I am taking you from the ignominy of your beginnings to enormous growth and advancement. The Father declares that this is a season of progress for you. The waypoints of your blessing are on the horizon. Those things you believed were far away will soon become a footnote in the history of my goodness. My kindness is overshadowing you today. The embrace of paradise surrounds you. The template of heaven on earth is now being implemented in your life. No more delays or denials, declares the Father. There is even a fresh favor bestowed upon you today. Those who have neglected, disdained, and scorned you will seek you out. They will seek you out because they understand that you are my buddy and I am your Father. Be magnanimous. Be generous. You are not only meant to be blessed, but also to be a blessing. Bless both your friends and your adversaries. Bless those who opposed and resisted you in the past. Do the love thing, says the Father, because in acts of love and undeserved kindness, I will bless and benefit you and distribute the victor's spoils generously. God says that the pronouncement of heaven has come upon you today. I have established the circumstances for growth, advancement, and promotion. Because you have chosen to have a servant's heart, I will grant you the privilege that only a son is entitled to. This is the power to become, says the Father, just as I stated in my word. I have granted you the authority to exercise kingdom entitlement. Choose to have the servant's heart, but the son's mind. Consider yourself a son, as you have access to all of heaven's treasures. Because I have declared over you, you have the ability to declare over the earth. Declare, declares the Father. Declare the decree of heaven over your life and the lives of others. Proclaim audaciously. Decree generously, knowing that what you speak will undoubtedly come true and be manifested. Declare heaven's declaration, since heaven has come to earth through you. You are not looking for a portal, says the Father. You are the portal of heaven, and through you, the grace, mercy, and joy of Calvary's purchase price are being realized on earth. The Father has said that it is time for you to fly. Doing things through the works of the flesh and natural man's efforts will become a thing of the past for you. Expect to see an acceleration in duties and responsibilities that have previously slowed you down and left you discouraged. You will do more from a state of rest than you have in the past, using all of your effort, will, and capability. I am a God who rules from a place of rest. As you realize this and enter my rest, your performance and productivity will skyrocket. I am a good businessman, says the Father. I back your vision and your life because I am confident that my investment in your life will yield a return. I'll say it again, it's time for you to fly. Today, I'd like you to go over your checklist of commitments to me. You have requested me to examine and test you, but I urge you to examine yourself to determine whether you are in the faith, which is the no-fail zone where everything is possible and every breath of my promise becomes substance in your life before you pray. Today, the Father tells us to be doers rather than hearers. My kingdom does not come with observation. You must act. As you take my promises and turn them into action words in your life, you will experience transformation. Areas of stagnation and persistent issues will succumb to behaviors consistent with your faith-filled remarks. You must believe and act. By doing so, you will make your way prosperous. This is how you can trigger heaven's approbation of your life and plans. Allow yourself to be interrupted. Keep your options open. Be willing to let go of your thinking in favor of my plans. I have a plan, says the Father, and it is not to leave you in doubt and despair. Choose to rearrange your approach to my promises today. I responded, restructure your approach to my promises. The land you are entering as you progress in me will be one of blessing, advantage, and entitlement. The Father adds, I'm not holding out on you. Some say I've said no, but I haven't. Rather, I've said not yet. My blessings make you rich and bring no grief. You must mature into your entitlement and make my character your default choice in all situations. In doing so, you will have a never-fail experience. Shake off failed policies from the past, as well as false hopes born of vanity and folly. I have much more in mind for you, says the Father, and if you are willing to receive, we are entering a new season of blessing. Today, the Father says, I am here for you. When you don't get it right, I don't keep my mouth shut. You made a mess or two, and dear, I stayed right with you. I did not send my Son to death for the perfect version of you. I sent my Son to help you through the ups and downs, as well as when you get lost. Understand that you are cherished. You are adored despite your flaws, failings, and faults. You are loved even when you close your eyes and pretend not to see. I am here when you return to me, filled with remorse and knowing you need to be cleansed. Come to me. I will give you rest, cleanse and purify you, and cause you to become who you were meant to be. God explains that we are linked together by ropes and bands of love. It is horrible that those who profess to represent me hurt you by withdrawing my affection. I love you, my dear. You are mine. I am yours. Every time you see me in truth, you will see me walking toward you with love and acceptance, willing to work with you through every failure and fault. Come to Papa, says the Father, and I will collect you to myself and bring you the change and transformation you want. The Father says today that you are in my favor's crosshairs. Calvary's purchase price will become tangible and substantial today, and you will praise and thank me for the result. You see, says the Father, my intention for you is not disappointment or disillusion. My objective is to bless you and then make you a blessing to others. So don't be afraid. I will not be defeated in the battle for your life's blessing. Do you comprehend that just as you have opened your heart and treasures to me, I will unlock heaven's riches and pour out what you cannot contain? I am provisional, and I will fulfill the vision that I have set in your heart. Remove the distractions and negative thoughts of discouragement and frustration. Adopt my mind. Allow the Christ mentality to guide your decisions and interactions with others. When you face adversity, do the love thing, because love never fails. Do not let others dictate the tone of your day or your response. I am with you. Leave the battle to me. Take your place at the table I have prepared for you, even in the presence of your naysayers and your open foes. This is your part and your place in my kingdom, declares the Father. The Father declares today that I will turn back those who have pursued you. Those who have expended their energy and resources to take from you, to oppress and belittle you will be turned back. They will hear a sound and receive word from another area of their life and will be called away to attend more pressing matters. You see, says the Father, the blessing of Abraham is upon you. Through the work of the cross you are an heir and joint heir with Abraham of old. My promise to Abraham is my promise to you. I will bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. I will execrate from your life those that even trifle with you, says the Father. Be of good cheer and do not give thought to the encroachments and threats that come to you in the mail, on the phone, or across the internet. Even those who have challenged you to your face will be removed from the equation. They don't know who they are dealing with, for I take it personally when you are harassed. I have set you as the apple of my eye, and those that come near you will not escape my notice. So now get ready for blessing. The scope of the enemy's assault now becomes the measurement by which I will bless you. They thought they would take you for a prey, but I am shutting the door in their face today. Seek my face. Seek my kingdom. Move forward without distraction. The plans of the enemy will come to naught. You will not be denied. You will not come to failure. Think my thoughts and move in my heart and my character. The door of adversity is closing and the door of blessing is opening. Rush in. Step in. Set your heart to seek me with all that is within you, for I will never disappoint or reject you in any way. The Father says today that angels are running interference for you today. There is a garrison of angel warriors surrounding you, for your life is prime real estate in my kingdom. Angels vie for assignment over you, for they know you will be a kingdom seeker, and in seeking the kingdom they will excel and prevail in their purposes. Be aware as you go about your day and know that many times you have already interacted with angel messengers without realizing it. You are surrounded, says the Father. You are safe. The orchestration of angels unseen by you is moving and arranging circumstances around you so that you will walk into my purpose and favor. So be of good cheer and fear not, for I will suffer none to hurt you or set on your well-being in any way. Guard your words, and your expectations for the angels will come daily and hourly to see what words from you that they can war with and bring to pass in your life. They are listening, for I have mandated them to bring you to highest heart desire, greatest dream fulfilled. Reject all perverse speech or the language of defeat. Bolster your prayer life, for without prayer the angels fold their hands and stand silent until you begin again to offer up petitions and supplications to me. Your prayers are the requisition forms of heaven directing what happens next. Your prayers are heard. Give them something to respond to by your faith-filled prayers, and you will see of the travail of your soul and be satisfied. The Father says today, I release to you my faith. The faith of God, not just faith in God. I framed the worlds by my faith, says the Father. This is the faith, the creative impetus that dwells in you. This is my dynamis, generative power. Your faith is not a dead faith, for my faith is not dead. Even now my faith upholds and sustains the universe moment by moment. All of creation blinks in and out of existence by faith. It is my faith that establishes the substance of all things. Just as all things consist by my faith, so I have given you my faith that you might rule in the jurisdiction and domain I have accorded you. I have placed you in your life as I placed Adam in the garden. You're a tender and a keeper of your own vine. I have given you dominion, now go out and subdue your environment. Begin with your own human spirit. He that rules his spirit is better than he that takes a city. Rule over your own heart, not in religious legalism and austerity, but in benevolence, love, and authority. Know the importance of my faith. I have this day caused you to be restored. Even though you have lost it all, I will restore and bring a work of restitution over your life. Seek me first, says the Father, for when you seek me first, the scripture cannot be broken. It is not possible that all things will not be added unto you when you put your affection and attention on me. God says today that your emotions are not the vehicle of your spirituality. Your emotions receive the dividends of my glory on the inside of you, but it is your spirit that contains, expresses, and channels my glory from the throne to your life in manifest substance and answers to prayer and fulfillment of your dreams and your vision. Fallen man and natural thinking allow emotions to run the show, and the result is frustration, anger, resentment, and fear. I do not want you to be emotion-driven, says the Father, but neither do I wish for you to be an emotionless automaton without passion for my kingdom or zest for life. Religion has painted a picture of spirituality that would deny and wall you off from the things of life I have given you richly to enjoy. It is time in your life to set aside the vanities of dry and impotent religious experience. This is the bridal season, says the Father. I am not coming for a widow veiled in black without anything but a dead, sterile commitment to me. So have your emotions, but bring them in check by bringing your spirit online as the arbiter and ruler of all the rest of your person, including your passions. Your spirit must rule inwardly, because that is where my lordship dwells and is enthroned. Your spirit is my personal throne room in your life, and from there I release the glory to you, through you and in you, that causes angels to cry, holy, holy, holy. Come into that inner chamber, says the Father, and I will transform your life beyond all expectation. The Father says today, do not react to the situation. Respond to my spirit. I will lead you through the minefield the enemy has laid in your path. You will avoid out of the presence of your detractors, and the fiery darts and javelins they throw at you will not find their mark. Do not fear or be fretful over the strife of tongues, for I will hide you in my pavilion and preserve you from all the expectations and plans of the evil one. You will not suffer even the loss of one hair on your head, for I am your protector. I am the strong tower that you will run into and be saved. There may be thousands that have faltered and fallen, but beloved, you are the one I am working with both to will and to do my good pleasure. I have set my seal upon your heart that you might be preserved from the bitter root judgments the enemy would contaminate you with. Forgive, says the Father. Forgive even the unforgivable. Do it not in your own strength, but in my grace. I grace you now. I give you grace to relinquish the right to be vindicated. I am your vindication. The truth always outlives the lie. Restoration will be brought about by my hand, and this present distress will only be a footnote to the testimony of victory and blessing that this season holds for you in your life. Do you trust me, says the Father? Then take your hands off the circumstance, and those things that you cannot change or fix or repair will be addressed by my capable hands. The Father says today that it is in your power to compress time and bring your breakthrough. The devil is not the one hindering. His power was destroyed 2,000 years ago, and he has no power from the throne to stand and resist you. The only power the enemy can draw on is the power you give him by responding to his suggestions. When you are dealing with the enemy, you are dealing with a created thing with a finite ability to resist and make your life difficult. I have connected you to the resources of the kingdom that formed the universe and spun planets off into space. You are not limited, but your enemy is limited. The enemy's power in your life is measured by the attention you give to what he is doing and what you think he is planning to do. This is not necessary, beloved, for I have given you power to tread over all the power of the enemy whenever he raises his head out of the abyss to create difficulty for you. So refuse to be distracted by the enemy and continue seeking the kingdom. Do not listen to what the enemy says, because what I am saying trumps anything Satan can come up with. Disregard those through whom the enemy is speaking. They are blind leaders of the blind who are in love with the sound of their own voice. They delight to disparage and attack you only when they see they have reached into your core and distracted you from your focus upon my throne. Set your attention upon me and break through the pressure that abounds in your life. Break through into my mind, my peace, my righteousness, and my joy. Have joy and count it all joy that you face mistreatment and lies and these types of difficulties, because that means you have threatened the domain of darkness and become manifestly children of your Father in heaven. I am standing right here, says the Father. Reach out and feel the sinews of my strong right arm that is bared right now in your defense. Your victory is assured, says the Father, so allow your obedience and perseverance to pierce the assault of the enemy and establish you unmovable in my presence and my kingdom. The Father says today, make it your determination to not place yourself in a situation that I would not appreciate. The fruit of the Spirit grows in your life as you expose yourself to the environment where my presence is honored and not grieved. Just because others make allowances for themselves that give occasion to the flesh doesn't mean there aren't consequences. Others may, but you cannot. You may look at others and think, look at what they're getting away with, but they haven't received the high call. They were called, but they weren't chosen. They were chosen, but they weren't faithful, so I gave them over to their choices until they make a determination that the things of the world are no substitute for what I am offering them. So come into my joy today and set aside the lie of pining after the habits and activities of those who do not know me and have not committed to me that which you have committed to me. I am able to keep you. I am bringing you to a deeper place of faith and fidelity. You asked for more, and more is available. Open the inner territory of your life up to me in a greater measure. No longer compare yourself or your level of commitment to that of those around you. I haven't called you to be normal or average. I have called you to be relentlessly mine. So rise up higher, says the Father. Don't give thought or yield to the temptation of the husks and hog troughs of worldly and unproductive things. I am here. I am your reward. The high place awaits when you abandon yourself to me in a fundamental way as never before. The Father says today that I am the potter, you are the clay. You are clay in my hands and my hands only. I have not called you to succumb to the expectations of man or the goals of men with religious agendas or ideologies. Your strength is not in your doctrine or religious practice. Your strength is in your relationship with me and immersion in my spirit. When you humble yourself to me and not to those who want you to submit to their experience or position. Walk in love and seek peace, but always listen to my spirit and respond to the guidance of my hand. Though they pipe to you, you will not dance. Though they may lament, that is not your cue to mourn. I am offering you opportunity to be an influencer to mold lives and marry the generations. This is the hard assignment of a true spiritual warrior. As you take care of my business, so will I take care of your business. As you seek first my kingdom, you will see that I will add to you until every need is supplied and every provision made. I am provision, says the Father, and the vision I communicate to you will be sponsored and made achievable by my hand. You will never want for direction or guidance or resources as you go courageously forth with authority into the assignment of heaven entrusted to you afresh and new this day. The Father continues, today I am going to show the world what my church looks like in its natural habitat. The existing forms and patterns of how church is conducted are giving way to the fresh winds of my spirit. I am asking men, says the Father, to abandon church as they know it in favor of church as I envision it. Because the former markers have been gone, I am setting new standards for the manifestation of my spirit and power. You will exhibit my spirit rather than simply discussing my spirit-related topics. You shall display my power rather than simply recount events from the past. In this generation, I will overshadow the narratives of previous revivals with nation-shaking movements of my wind, of which you will be part. I am inviting you to be a part of my kingdom's generation that does not feel compelled to discuss what they display. Be prepared for change. Be willing to shift from observing to participating in my kingdom. Be sendable. Be spendable. Allow yourself to be interrupted. Are you ready for your plans, concepts, and ideas to be interrupted by what I have in mind? You will not be disappointed. I will furl your spirit like a sail, and my wind will carry you to unexpected places, touching lives that the gospel has not yet reached. The Father says you were bought for a price. Your life isn't your own. Trust me with your aspirations and expectations. This day, I'm conscripting you to reveal my bigger objectives in this hour. The Father says, today, son and daughter, surrender all of your outcomes to me. There is freedom in giving up control and simply trusting me. The Father says, I am, after all. What aspect of omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent is not applicable to your situation? Relax your hands. Relax the stiffness in your jaws. Just breathe. I am here. Talk to me. My name is fantastic. My constancy is out.